Recording
Okay.
now, and we are now live, so participants can join in. We've
Wonderful.
found it takes them a few minutes to trickle in, but
Okay. No worries. Hi everyone. And I know you're probably trickling in. Sorry for our delay here. You never know what you're going to get. We had some tech issues on my end here, but really excited to be here with you all. I know you probably had a pretty busy Saturday so far, and really excited to be in front of you and get to share more about Vanguard. For this session, I don't know if it'd be easiest to just submit any questions in the chat. I am calling in from my phone, so I may not be able to see them. So at the end, we'll leave some time in any questions that come through there. Jess or if one of the hackathon leads would be able to read those off, I think that might be best bet. But we'll go ahead and get started with some introductions. I can kick us off. So hi, everyone. Again, very happy to be here with you all, and so sorry for a little bit of the delay. My name is Hannah Angelo, and I am from Vanguard. I am on our university and recruiting partnerships team. So I started at Vanguard about 2 years ago in 2018. And so I'm a recent graduate myself. I graduated from Westchester University, if you are aware of that institution. So started in an entry-level role, client relationship associate, helping clients reach their financial goals and service their accounts. I did that for about a year, and then I had the opportunity to move into the university recruiting partnerships team. I had a unique experience. I had the opportunity to move into the team in an internship capacity. So I did that for a year. Developmental experience, kind of got my feet wet, see if I really like the space. And of course I did. So I got hired onto the team full-time about a month ago. So still kind of getting used to things, getting in the swing of things. But in my role, I am primarily working with different university partners to attract top diverse talent to Vanguard. So really excited to chat with you all today. Typically we would be, out on campus in these hackathons, but the virtual environment is a little bit different. So of course, happy that we can still be in front of you all. And I'm also here with my colleague, Jess, who is in our technology leadership program. She was a mentor, so some of you may have had an opportunity to work with her today, but I will pass it over to Jess if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Hannah. So this is actually my second year representing Vanguard at Hack PSU. So I'm very excited to be back. As she mentioned, I am in the technology leadership program. It's a 2-year rotational program. Right now, I'm currently working on a robo-advisor. So I am a full-time software engineer on that team. And what our robo-advisor aims to do is kind of eliminate the human component out of financial advice. So as you can imagine, we use a lot of algorithms to continuously optimize our clients' portfolios. It's a project I'm really passionate about. I also love working at Vanguard since I've been here in the last year and a half, and I'm really happy to be sharing some of my experiences on the technology side, but also the work-life balance and culture that we have here at Vanguard.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Jess. Jess, were you able to get the presentation pulled through? Okay, no worries. So we're just going to share a little bit more about Vanguard. I have the presentation in front of me, so I'll just kind of, because we don't have it up with you guys, we'll just kind of share some talking points. Jess, feel free to jump in with anything you want to add at any time. But we'll kind of just go through a generic overview. What is Vanguard? What's our culture like and our opportunities? So I'll kick us off here. So what is Vanguard? Vanguard is one of the world's largest companies in the financial services industry. So we are the #1 provider of mutual funds and the world's second largest provider of exchange trade funds. Just because we're in the financial services industry does not mean that we are not an IT company. So we are 30% an IT company. We definitely value our IT folks and need their support for us to be successful and remain competitive in the industry. So our headquarters and where Jess and I sit, we are in Malvern, Pennsylvania. So it's right outside of Philadelphia. there is a little over, I think 10 or 11,000 of us on the Malvern campus. So big headquarters in a pretty small town. We also have locations in Charlotte, North Carolina, and then Scottsdale, Arizona as well. So along the same line of location, we have 19 global offices. So Vanguard has a Vanguard Australia, Vanguard Europe. There's offices in London, in Paris, in China. So very large global footprint, all run out of small town Malvern, which is pretty cool. And I've heard stories too, and seen crew members who, once they're tenured at Vanguard, they have the opportunity to work full time in, maybe our offices in Europe or in Australia. So pretty cool opportunity there. Something, to always kind of keep your mind on and look forward to. We have close to 18,000 of us worldwide, so 18,000 crew members. You'll hear us use that verbiage a lot. So Vanguard is a nautical theme, so we are called crew members. Close to 30 million investors worldwide in over 170 countries. So again, very large global footprint, all out of a very small town. So typically I ask everyone if you know what makes Vanguard different in the financial services industry. So we are completely different and we have a different structure compared to our competitors. So a lot of times you will hear of companies being publicly traded or privately held. Vanguard is client owned. So if you own our products, if you own our mutual funds, our ETFs, you in turn own our company. So there is no conflicting loyalties, no third-party interactions, really no reason for us to make a decision that is not ultimately going to benefit our clients. So it allows us to do the right thing. And I think it allows for a very genuine nature to be felt throughout Vanguard. It's one of my favorite parts of our culture. So following this up with our mission statement. So Jess, feel free to correct me if I am wrong, but I think it's fair to say that everyone at Vanguard could probably recite our mission. It's to take a stand for all investors, to treat them fairly, and to give them the best chance for investment success. It's literally written on our walls on campus. Everyone knows it, and everyone really kind of lives by it. So a lot of times companies will have to ask themselves the question, okay, does our structure enable our mission? And at Vanguard, ours does, right? So we're client owned, which allows us to really do the right thing for our investors and help them achieve their goals. Anything to add on that so far, Jess?
I can definitely agree that pretty much everyone can recite it because it's said so frequently, and in all of those large presentations by our CEO, he always has that top of mind. So 100% agree with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Jess. All right. So on the presentation here, we typically have a slide that just shows a timeline of Vanguard. So I'm not going to give you all too much of a history lesson here, but just a few things to kind of be aware of, which is pretty cool. So Vanguard was founded in 1975 by John Bogle. So that's not that long ago. We have seen such significant growth in the amount of time since we've been opened. So we are now close to, I think it's $6.2 trillion in assets under management. So a lot of growth in a small amount of time. And Vanguard, you'll notice we really don't have many advertisements. You won't see too many commercials for us. So a lot of that growth was spread by positive word of mouth. So that's pretty cool. Another thing that is typically on this slide is the Vanguard effect. So what that means is because Vanguard had such a unique structure, such a low cost structure, because our mutual funds had such low expense ratios and our ETFs had such low expense ratios, everyone was coming to Vanguard, right? All of the investors wanted to invest with Vanguard. So in order to remain competitive, other companies in the financial services industry had to lower their expense ratios and lower their costs. So now not only is Vanguard impacting individual investors, but we are impacting the financial services industry as a whole. So that's pretty cool. And then another thing here to note, we also have kind of a little bit different, not as aligned with our traditional structure. In July of 2017, Vanguard opened an innovation studio in Philadelphia. So that is where a couple of our IT folks sit. So I think it's no bigger than an office of about maybe 20 to 30 crew members who sit there. All IT folks, very innovative, very creative space. It's different than our headquarters, right? It's not as traditional. So we have ping pong tables in there, really open spaces for everyone to collaborate, a little bit more laid back. You can wear pretty casual clothes. So I think it's cool that we, have that spot for us to remain up to date in the industry and just kind of share ideas and bounce ideas back and forth. Anything to add on the Innovation Studio, Jess?
One really cool thing about the Innovation Studio is anyone can go tour it. So I took a tour of it, and it's actually just a couple blocks away from my apartment in Center City, Philadelphia. So we are not just in Melbourne in terms of the Philadelphia area. There are a bunch of people who sit downtown.
Yeah, thank you for hitting on that. Absolutely. So I figure now we can just kind of share more about why we each came to Vanguard. So what do we like about Vanguard, right? So I'll kick us off here. For me, when I graduated college, I wanted to work for an employer where I knew I was doing the right thing in impacting others and having a positive impact on others. So you go to college for 4 years, you graduate, you want to do something impactful, you want to love what you do and do what you love. So at Vanguard, for the first role that I took, the client relationship associate role, I knew, hey, I'm going to be working with 20 to 40 clients a day, helping them with their finances, which is super important to everyone. So I knew it was going to be impactful work, and I knew I was going to be able to drive change and add value to someone else's life. And same in my role right now, right? Working with students, you're all fantastic and helping you reach your professional goals. It's just so valuable. And being at Vanguard makes it 10 times better. So that's kind of why I chose this industry and Vanguard. But Jess, do you want to share more about your story?
Yeah, absolutely. So I studied computer science in my undergraduate degree. I don't know if this resonates with other people, but I didn't know what I wanted to do specifically. I knew I wanted to be in software, but part of me thought I could have gone many directions. But the thing that stuck out to me about Vanguard is their willingness to help you develop as a crew member. They don't want to stick you on a team that you're just going to be miserable in for years on end. So you actually have a lot of room to have input into what team you're going to work on, what projects gauge your interest, what you're passionate about. And that's exactly how I got into the role I am now, working on a robo-advisor. I saw what the company had to offer, and they gave me that flexibility to really work on what I'm interested in. So that was very apparent when I was learning about Vanguard and what the company has to offer. And that was a huge part of my decision, because I wanted to go to a company that really valued me and what I wanted to do as well, so I can contribute to the overall mission.
Absolutely. I love that. And I think it resonates with so many of us, right? One of my favorite things about Vanguard is the focus on professional development. So I shared a little bit in the beginning, but just having the opportunity to take an internship and kind of test out a new space, very similar to the development programs. You get to test out different areas of the business and see where am I thriving? What do I like the most? And you can just pursue that area. And there's so many different opportunities because we are so large. So I think that Vanguard's focus on professional development really is truly something that helps us stand out. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Another thing that's super important, so we talked about our culture a little bit and our crew members. The community, Vanguard has a very strong focus on our community stewardship efforts. So I'll talk a little bit more about some of those opportunities. So every fall, Vanguard kicks off our Vanguard Gives Back campaign. It typically kicks off with a 5K on campus throughout our Malvern campus. This year, of course, we're not on campus, right? We're virtual. So that didn't go away. We still kicked it off. It's something that we do every single year. So we had the opportunity to participate virtually. So we did a virtual 5K, and our company had a 75,000-mile challenge. So you could loop in your friends, you could loop in your family to help achieve that. But really amazing that we still kind of moved forward with that even in this virtual space. So we kick off the campaign. The campaign in itself allows you to give back and donate your time and also money to organizations that are near and dear to your heart. So on the Vanguard Gives Back portal, if you donate to one of those organizations, Vanguard will match 100%. So it's pretty fantastic. I think this year there was, Tim announced, our CEO, Tim Buckley, announced that there was close to $8.7 million pledged to give back to the community. And that was before the match. So just fantastic focus on community stewardship. We have a lot of different programs, again, that you can, crew-led programs that you can participate in. So one of them is All Cans on Deck, where you are fighting food insecurity and donating through kind of fun things on campus. And also sponsor a child during, who is underprivileged during the Christmas season and help make their Christmas a little bit brighter. So just wonderful programs that you can get involved in to give back to the community and also let yourself kind of stand out and take on a leadership role within Vanguard. So that was something that was really important to me and something that we continue to hone in on, especially in kind of the current state that we're in right now. Another thing that is important is we offer, on top of our regular PTO allotment, we offer one VTO day. So a volunteer day off, which also hasn't gone away since we've been virtual. I know a lot of teams are kind of planning their VTO day for the next coming weeks. So on top of your regular PTO allotment of 18 days, you get one VTO day you don't come to the office, you do whatever you would like to give back to the community. So one year, I know a team that I was close with had done a beach sweep at the Jersey beaches. So they picked up all the trash off the beach and then spent the day together, had lunch together, and just, again, a really great way to kind of bond with your team and also give back. So our programs are fantastic. Jess, if you have any that you've participated in that you would like to speak to, feel free.
Yeah, I actually did the beach cleanup for my VTO day. It was really fun, but also Vanguard encourages you to do anything. I know a lot of people who are friends of mine in the program, the TLP program. They do a lot of volunteering with the Girls Who Code organization, and that really just promotes, little girls learning how to code. And I also did sponsor a child with my team, which I didn't even know existed, but my whole team and we all pooled together, picked up some really fun gifts and gave kids like bikes and things like that. And it just like made me remember when I was a kid and I got a bike and how I want to keep doing that in the future and how great it was.
Yeah, and that's so exciting too around the Christmas season. I mean, you get to wrap the gifts, you get to go out to Target together as a team and kind of pick them up. And it's really exciting. And it's something that I know personally I look forward to every year. So glad that that's coming up soon. I know we're virtual, but I know we'll still make it happen. Okay, so we're going to talk through now just a few of the logistical benefits that we offer. So going to start off with some, please feel free if you have questions to send them in the chat. We can dive deeper into this once we wrap up. So, and Jess, feel free to jump in at any time here. So we focus on saving for retirement, right? It's what we do. So Vanguard offers one of the best employer plans, so 401k plans in the industry. Now, I can be honest and say that this was not top of mind for me when I was a student. I wasn't thinking about my retirement, but it is really important, and Vanguard's program is phenomenal. So if you put in 4% of your salary, Vanguard will match 4% on top of that. And an additional 10% of your salary could be put in each year. So ultimately, you could be putting away 18% of your salary, which equates to some major savings down the line. So really, really important, and something to definitely think about when you're kind of assessing employers. Don't just look at that, salary number. You want to make sure to look at the total rewards program. We also offer best in class healthcare coverage. So during times like this, you don't want to be worried about if you go to the doctor, if you're going to be covered. So Vanguard offers Aetna. I never have any issues with it. Everything goes great. So we have health insurance. We also have dental, vision, and pet insurance. So just a few perks there. We also offer on our campus wellness centers. They're called crew care, in gym facilities called ShipShape. So crew care is like a doctor's office. So you can get most of the time a same day appointment. They will give you prescriptions, antibiotics, anything that you need to kind of get up and running again. I definitely utilized crew care when we were on campus. It was just so much quicker than going to the doctor. ShipShape, again, we're not on campus right now, but we have a amazing gym facility. Right now, they're offering all of their classes virtually. So pretty cool. You can still participate and jump on during your lunch hour to join the ShipShape team. But the gym itself on campus, it has dumbbells, free weights, cardio equipment, and then of course those classes that you can take. So cardio kickboxing, HIIT class, Zumba. Really, there is so many options for you. And anything to add, Jess?
Yeah. Another thing is when I started Vanguard, I actually moved from a different part of the country. I didn't know anyone at Vanguard, but I joined the ShipShape, which is our gym. I joined their intramurals, and I made so many friends from all over Vanguard. So I have friends who are like on the trading floor. I have friends who are in different areas of technology. I have people who work in our customer relations department. And that was a huge perk alone because I could meet people and play really fun sports. There's like volleyball, basketball, bowling all year round. I really liked it when we were back in the office.
I love that. Yeah, really, really great point. A few other things too, just with, I'm sure you're wondering about, how everything's been with us virtual. It's been great. A few other kind of perks that we have, we offer up to 25 additional days for sick leave. So I mentioned 18 days of PTO. This sick leave allotment that we were given is because of the pandemic. And if you get sick, you don't want to be using all of your personal PTO. So 25 additional days, and really grateful for that. Just because that could be so hard to, not have any days left and just be sick for so long. So that's really important. Also, 98% of us have been work from home. So it's crazy because when we were on campus, I remember there were some roles, client facing roles that they traditionally said, these will never be work from home. We're not going to be able to get these out of the office just because of data issues, privacy concerns. Well, back in March, our IT teams were phenomenal. Tech teams were fantastic, and they got everyone home within, I think it was a week, 2 weeks max. And it's been going great. Of course, it has its tech issues. I mean, currently right now I'm, dialing in on my phone, but we work through it. And I think it's helping us with agility and flexibility and just handling ambiguous time. So 98% of us are still work from home. We're certainly not going back until it's up to the health and safety standards. We wouldn't want to put anyone in danger. So that's all good. We also have equipment. So because we are work from home, Vanguard is giving you the opportunity to purchase chairs. What I'm sitting in right now, I got through Vanguard. Headsets, monitors, you can get it all. So they're definitely not leaving you to figure that out on your own. You're fully equipped, and it's been going great. Anything to add on that, Jess?
No, I would say quite similar to that. And as a developer, it's super important for me to have double monitors. And I ordered them, and within 2 days they came because that's a priority. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely very comfortable working from home thanks to Vanguard facilitating that.
Yeah, absolutely. So a few other perks here that we offer, and this just drives home the emphasis on professional development and how Vanguard invests in their crew members. So super great program. We have student loan repayment. So $100 a month. If you enroll in this program, Vanguard will give you $100 a month towards your student loans. We typically cap that at about $7,200. So that's a significant amount of your student loans that could be taken care of just by enrolling in this program. We also offer tuition reimbursement for graduate degrees. So if you want to get your MBA or your master's, Vanguard does provide money towards that. I believe it's up to about $9,000 a year, but that does depend on your situation. We offer certification programs. So a lot of people will want to sit to get their CFA or CFP. So that is something that we help prepare you for and help you sit for. And then lastly, we offer really a very strong internal career training group called Vanguard University. So for a lot of our roles, you'll have to get licensed and up to speed. So this training group they're phenomenal. They will teach to you in person. They provide tutors. They will teach the material to you, just making sure that you are good to go. We definitely don't throw you into the deep end. And they have also been completely virtual since we've been home. So training, again, bringing on new hires, it's been going very smooth. And everything that they did in person, they've just transitioned online. We also use programs like LinkedIn Learning to take classes and upskill yourself on, if you wanted to upskill on change management or leadership or relationship management, you can do that through there. And then we also will help crew members upskill on AWS and Python and different languages just to make sure that they're prepared if they need that in the role that they are in. So definitely a teaching institution, to say the least.
I would completely agree with that. I actually went through the process of doing the AWS certificate, which is like an extremely marketable thing to have. And Vanguard put me through the whole thing. They set me up with training. It went really well. Also, I'm doing the tuition reimbursement for a graduate degree, and I've just never felt so encouraged to do it. Like, my managers are cheering me on, and they're also assisting in the payment.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jess. All right. So we're going to just touch on inclusion at Vanguard, and this is really important. It's always been important to us, but I think now more than ever, it's crucial for crew members and students and anyone who wants to join Vanguard to understand the programs that we offer and, explore joining them. So we offer 4 crew resource groups at Vanguard. So we have WILS, Women in Leadership, VBPN, our Vanguard Black Professional Network, Open for our LGBTQ community, OLA for the Hispanic and Latina community, and then LEAP for our Asian professionals. So you can join any of these groups. You don't have to fit a certain profile to be in these groups. So there's tons of men in the Women in Leadership group. I've attended events with all of these groups. So really a great opportunity to bring such a big company together into a close-knit community. These groups will often have guest speakers. They'll do professional networking and professional development sessions. There will be panels, and there's just candid conversations that they will have that help you during challenging times. And specifically during the past couple of months, these crew resource groups have been such a great resource to myself and so many other crew members. Jess, do you have any stories you want to share in particular with these?
Yeah, just to show how much emphasis that Vanguard puts on diversity, is that I actually met Vanguard at the Grace Hopper conference. So Grace Hopper, if you guys don't know, is the largest women in computer science conference in the world, I think. I know for sure the US, but I think it's the largest conference in the world. So that's where I met Vanguard. I heard about all the great benefits of working there, and I really fell in love with the company. And to bring it full circle, WILS, so Hannah just talked about it, the Women in Leadership group, sent me to Grace Hopper this year to attract more talent that we can bring back to Vanguard. So it really felt good going back there, considering that's how I met Vanguard and I started my career.
Yeah, seeing it come full circle. That's an awesome story, Jess. And just for myself too, I mean, we normally have these groups will host, development sessions and their events on campus, but virtually, I think now more than ever, there has been even more events. So they certainly have not stopped. The OLA group just celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month, and they did some really cool virtual events. They had a virtual dance party. VBPN, our Vanguard Black Professional Network, was a huge resource for me this past summer with the racial injustices that we were facing as a country. They hosted candid pop-up chats. They had a few different sessions. Close to 2,200 crew members attended these. So these sessions were really just to digest the situation, talk about what's going on, educate each other. And for me, I simply was listening and in learning so much. So these groups are, I can't emphasize it enough. Every time they have events, I am always, the first one to try and sign up. So it's great. It's fantastic. And they virtually, it's nice too, because there's no cap on attendance. So that is all good. But if you have any questions, please feel free to send them in the chat. All right, so real quick here, I know we're running up on time and I do want to just leave some time for questions, but we'll talk about jobs at Vanguard, which I'm sure you are all wondering about. I know at hackathons, there's a very diverse group of freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So talk about our offerings for each of those groups. So for our freshmen and sophomores, so for underclassmen, we offer really fantastic days called Explore Days. So these are a one-day student visit day where we invite students to come to our campus or our virtual campus and learn more about Vanguard, do some professional networking, build those connections early on so that you can continue to chat with us and meet with us throughout your college career. So when it comes time for your sophomore year, your junior year, and you're looking for an internship, you've already been put into our pipeline and had those conversations with us. So the Explore Day program, again, was typically on campus. We would do a campus tour. There was a senior leader who would conduct a keynote speech. Jess has participated in so many for us. There are panelists who will answer questions, recent grad panels about different programs. We are thinking through how to host this virtually. So it's not going to be in person, of course, for this year, for 2021, but we are going to move forward with a virtual plan. Don't have all of the details sorted out quite yet, but we will post and promote this opportunity on our website, vanguardjobs.com, as well as Handshake. I know Penn State isn't specifically aligned on Handshake, but some of you may still have a profile, so look for it there. We offer Explore Days specifically for investment management. We also have one for HBCUs, so historically Black colleges and universities. We have a general Explore Day, and then we also have an IT-specific Explore Day. So that is really great and just something to kind of keep your eye on. We also offer a program to sophomores. It's called North Star. So we've recently launched this, I believe, last May. So it did hit after the pandemic, and it was supposed to be in person, but we transitioned it completely virtual, and it went very smooth for being our first big program virtually. So we know that we can do it. But North Star, it's, again, specifically for sophomores, and it's a 1-week experiential learning program for students who have been historically underrepresented in the financial services industry. So that's something else to keep your eye out for. Probably will be promoted and pushed out sometime in May. Our internship program is wonderful. It's our college to corporate internship. It's 10 weeks paid. It starts the first week of June and wraps up in August. And we have a number of different programs that you can intern through. So we have IT, of course, and within IT, we have application development, technology operations, and risk and security. We also have investment management focused internship, as well as business and finance. So these are great. What's nice about the internship is, you're not going to be, when you're with us, you're not going to be on a team of interns. You're gonna be on a team with full-time crew members, people who are tenured. They're gonna be relying on you. So it's very hands-on, and the experience you get is so great to carry with you, whether you continue your journey at Vanguard or go somewhere else. So we can talk more about those internships. Please feel free to send any questions through. And then we also have, oh, go ahead, Jess.
I put a couple links in the chat for the programs that you were talking about because someone asked for that. If you guys are looking for a very specific link, go to our Vanguard chat on Discord and we can make sure we help you there too.
Thanks, Jess. Appreciate that. So we have, lastly here, we'll touch on full-time opportunities. I don't know how many seniors we are with today, but we have full-time opportunities within our client-facing roles, IT, finance, corporate finance, and corporate accounting. Then we also have development programs. So right now we are currently recruiting for our entry-level software developer role. So that is one to keep your eye on. Again, if you do visit Jess later today or tomorrow, she will have those links available for you. And you can also just check out our website, vanguardjobs.com, under the students and recent graduates tab. The job posting is there and we are certainly recruiting for it. So we have the entry-level software developer role. We do have tech rotational programs. That's what Jess is in. We have filled those for this year. They do tend to fill up pretty quickly, but if you are a sophomore or you're a junior, keep your eye on those programs because the applications for all of our roles launch in early June and we recruit a year in advance. So if it's your junior year and you want to keep this in mind for after graduation and you want to join that technology leadership program that Jess is a part of, I would recommend applying as early as June if you're ready and if your resume is up to date, or early in the fall, because we do tend to fill those pretty quickly. They are highly competitive and fantastic programs that will fast track your development to become a leader at Vanguard. So Jess, I'll let you share more about your role too, just to kind of give the group your perspective. I know you shared some projects that you work on, but if you want to go into that, feel free.
With TLP or the team I'm on now?
Yes, you can. Yeah, whatever you would like.
Yeah, I'll just start with overall. I did my first rotation doing Android development, which was really interesting because I didn't know anything about it beforehand. So pretty much I started Vanguard day one and I had to come up to speed very quickly on it. But I felt really good because Vanguard does a lot of pair programming and we do a lot to make it a very collaborative environment. So I never felt like I was truly stuck on my own. I always had like a senior developer to go ask my questions to, just to make sure I was on the right track for learning. So that was really great. But what I'm really passionate about is what I'm working on right now. So it is that digital advisor product. So it's a robo-advisor. It removes the human out of the financial advice. And we actually pretty much offer a fully digital solution to optimize our clients' portfolios. Other things that I'm involved with as part of the technology leadership program is the internship. Every summer, I'm very hands-on, making sure there's a lot of like enrichment activities so the interns can learn what other interns are doing, making sure to facilitate networking so they can determine if they come back to Vanguard, what team they would want to work on, where they would want to launch their career. We do a lot of things like resume overviews, lunches with senior leadership. I think the head of IT actually comes in and talks to a lot of the interns. So that's like a really exciting part of my role, and it's as much or as little involvement as you want. That's something I'm really interested in, but I know a lot of other people who are in the technology leadership program tend to focus on like data science competitions, and they really spend all their time and energy there. So it's really do as you see fit, and I'm loving it so far.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And Jess, I think your example of the robo advice project that you're working on right now is a really strong example of how you can combine your interest in maybe finance and IT, because I'm sure you've worked closely with that team in trying to sort that out and see exactly, what needed to be done to make sure it was successful. So I think students are always interested in how they can best kind of combine the two when they're in the financial services industry. So I think that's just a perfect example of that.
Definitely. I have learned so much since I started in this team, and I actually signed up to be a client of this robo-advisor. So it just shows that my passions are really speaking with my actions, that I'm a client of it now. And we're already managing over $1 billion in assets. So it's really cool as a software engineer to see a product start from nothing to go all the way to $1 billion a year later.
Definitely. Okay, thank you, Jess. Do we have any questions? Now is the time. We have a couple of minutes, 15 or so. We can wrap up early, but please feel free to ask us any questions. We are open books, and this session is truly for you. So if you have any, feel free to send them in. On my phone, so I'm kind of checking here. Okay, so I do see a question about the interview structure. So I can hit on that. So typically our interview process, okay, so if you were to apply to, let's say, the entry-level software developer role, the application process itself, you would follow our link on our website, and it will bring you to our Workday application where you will fill out a bunch of questions. Typically, it will take about 2 to 4 weeks to hear back. And for a lot of our IT roles, we will push out a HackerRank exam just to test your IT ability and your technical acumen. So after you apply, you will be sent that HackerRank exam as well. And then if you were to, move forward with the interview process, there would be an initial phone screen. Typically, it's about 30 to 45 minutes. There is going to be a mix of, tell me about yourself, why Vanguard, as well as why this role, like what is your passion with the IT space, what are your goals? And then there will be technical questions as well as behavioral based questions. So you can expect a few of those, technical questions, as well as the tell me about a time when you had to overcome a challenge. So there is going to be a mix of both. And then after the phone screen, if you were to move forward, there would be an in-person or virtual interview. It's typically about an hour or so. At this point in time, it will be virtual over Microsoft Teams, and that is going to be more detailed on those technical questions and the behavioral based questions. So we'll ask you a number of those. For all of our behavioral based questions at Vanguard, we do utilize STAR format for your responses. So I would recommend looking into that. STAR format stands for situation, task, action, and response. And it really allows you to answer those behavioral based questions in a clear and concise way. So you're hitting on the situation, the task, your action, what you did, and then your response, what happened, what was the conclusion, and how does that relate to the role that you are applying for? So really good question. Any others?
So I see a question asking a little bit about what work-life balance in terms of typical schedules and on-call are. So at Vanguard, I'm pretty much going to answer this in the perspective of a software developer. Everyone's a little bit different, but most teams operate using Agile. If you guys aren't familiar with it, I really just recommend you spend 20 minutes researching what it is, but it's basically we operate in 2-week sprints. So we have a deadline every 2 weeks, and we have a daily stand-up meeting. So that is pretty much what guides what I do today. I have a daily stand-up meeting, and the rest of the day I do a lot of pair programming and maybe 1 or 2 meetings. So that's what my typical day will look like. And it also depends on the team what the on-call schedule is. So when you say on call, I'm assuming you're meaning like production support for the applications you're working on. Not all teams require this, but the team I'm on right now does it. And it's about once every 3 months. So you can imagine that's not too big of a work-life balance issue. And we have a lot of systems in play where you're partnered with a whole team to do production support for that week. So you're never left alone. And if you have something you need to do on the weekend or at a night, you can just ask someone to take over. We also have like a lot of systems for on-call and production support that actually use technology to make it easier so you don't even have to respond to all errors. So that's the experience I've had with it. And another thing in terms of work-life balance is I don't work past 5 p.m. or so. I really prioritize that because my team has showed me that that's how we want to work. We don't want to work where we're working till midnight every single day and then we burn out in 3 months. We're working on a very long-term goal to help our investors and give them the best chance for investment success. So we really want to make sure our products are long-lasting and built well at the same time.
Absolutely. Very well said, Jess. I cannot agree more. It is going to look different depending on the group that you're in. But I mean, when I was starting out at Vanguard, it was 37.5-hour work weeks. I start my day, I serve our clients from 8 to 4:30, and I go home, and I didn't even have, as I said, access to my work email at home. So we really value work-life balance. No matter what group you're in, it's really not encouraged to work more than 40 or so hours a week. Once you get to a certain level, that might change with your tenure and your role and responsibility scope. But especially when you're first starting out, it's really not encouraged because what Jess said, I mean, it's not gonna give our clients the best of what we can offer them if we're all tired and burnt out and working 50, 60 hours a week. So definitely something that I can agree with and speak to as well.
Yeah, one more thing on top of that is I want to talk a little bit more about PTO and how Vanguard integrates that into our work-life balance, because we get almost 3.5 weeks off a year, at least in my role. And I have talked to my peers and they're limited to 2 weeks in the same industry, in the same software industry. So I definitely don't take it for granted. And I know that not all companies do it. So for them to encourage us to always take our PTO is pretty big because they recognize the benefits of taking time off in terms of performance. It just makes everyone happier physically, mentally, and we can just perform better at work.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's for sure. So we do get the 18 days. And then this year, they did just announce that we are getting 2 additional days because of this environment and how much they want us to use that PTO, because it can be hard. It can be hard to disconnect when you're at home and when your laptop's right in front of your couch or your bed or what have you. So definitely nice that they're adding us 2 additional days, getting us to 20. And then you can also buy 5 additional PTO days that come out of your paycheck. So if you don't use them, you get that money back. If you do use them, great. You have those 5 additional days. So PTO is something that as a student, I was very excited about and very important to me. So we definitely have a very competitive offering with that, I would say. I've looked into, other companies, and it is, as Jess said, it can be, 14 days or maybe 15 max. So good point on that. Right. Do we have any last minute questions here? You have a busy night ahead of you all. So we can give the next 5 minutes or so back, but thank you all so much for taking the time to join our call today on such a busy day and in a Saturday afternoon. So sorry in the beginning for the tech issues. You never know what you're going to get, but we appreciate the time and being able to get in front of you all today. Jess is going to be helping as a mentor tomorrow, so feel free to stop by and chat with her. She also can send over those links. I know she put them in the chat too if you didn't get any. But please feel free to connect on LinkedIn with myself. If you do end up applying, let me know. Happy to help you out with that application process or answer any questions that you didn't get to. Again, my name is Hannah Angelo. I can send it in the chat. I'm on my phone, so I'll work on doing that. But Jess, anything else you want to hit on before we wrap up?
No, I think that's just about it. But like she said, I'll be here the rest of the weekend. So feel free to utilize that Vanguard Discord chat. And I'll post the links there again.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your night. And I did send my name in the chat. Please feel free to connect with us and check out our website, vanguardjobs.com, as well as our social media channels. So we are on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. So feel free to follow us, #LifeAtVanguard.
All right. Thanks, guys, so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.